on Open Throttle 360. We spend the morning with some exotic cars at Pittsburgh Cars and Coffee. We check out a sweet 67 Camaro. We take a look back at one of the founders of the Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix through the eyes of a local filmmaker. We revisit the flashlight drags, and we GoPro. That's coming up on OT360.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Just get on board, strap in, you'll understand that I'm wild, wild and crazy.
Welcome to Open Throttle 360. I'm Tom Lang.
And I'm Trip Clark.
Well, Trip, week in and week out, we try to cover as much of the local motorsports action as we can.
We do. We've covered muscle, dirt, vintage, builders, asphalt, drag, and we're not even done yet.
Nope, and I've got something else for you. Recently, the crew from Open Throttle 360 headed to Warrendale, PA to get a little taste of something exotic. Cars and Coffee actually started out in California. I believe it was Irvine, California. It was probably almost 10 years ago, and it's really grown and expanded to different cities.
I moved back here in 2009. I'm originally from the area, and it really wasn't anything like this.
It kind of started as an internet phenomenon.
I put a filler out on a couple of car forums for some guys to come out that had some exotic and performance cars.
We went to the Lotus forums, the Ferrari forums, Lamborghini forums, and we used to post up and say that we're all going to be meeting, generally at a Starbucks, and it really grew from there.
It was kind of small the first year, but the second year grew a little bit bigger, and the third year a little bit bigger, and you can see where we're at today. It's pretty cool to see what this has developed into and some of the cool and crazy cars that come out here in Pittsburgh.
I was approached by Cliff. They were looking for a home, and our development at Warrendale Village had an ability to house them, and we had enough parking space, and we also had one critical element of what they were all about, which was coffee. So with that, we were able to put those two together, and it's been ultimately successful for both parties. And this is our second year with Cliff, and we're real happy to have them. We wish it was every Saturday, but we'll take every other right now.
It's really the nicest coffee shop in Pittsburgh. I always tell people it makes Starbucks look like a 7-Eleven. Today's Porsche day, and I'm a Porsche owner, so I thought it fitting to make a Porsche day. I've been in the Allegheny region Porsche Club of America for probably 7 years now. We do have some other specialized days, an Italian day. We did one day have a color coordinated day where we tried to park different cars together by color, and it ended up making for some really nice photos. I think a lot of times when I invite people out to the group, they might think it's going to be something that's pretentious, and as soon as we manage to get them out here, I think they understand, they get the warm feeling from all the people that are here, and they just return. I mean, it's a really nice family atmosphere.
It's a cool thing to have a bunch of other people who are really into what you're into. And so we've developed a lot of friendships outside of just meeting on Saturday mornings. You know, we get together other times and hang out, and I met some great people through Cars and Coffee.
I actually went through, my husband was diagnosed with cancer and actually passed away. And the group at Cars and Coffee has truly embraced me as part of their family and has really helped me, you know, to move on and to kind of get through all of that. So it's definitely very inclusive. You can bring any kind of car, you can bring young children, you can bring animals, you can do all of that, as long as you're respectful.
Our club is a little different than maybe a normal car show that you would go to. We ask that if you're coming out to one of our regular meets that you're also bringing a car, something unique for people to enjoy. We do also host car shows throughout the year, generally for charities. We want the people who are showing their cars to bring some money for charity, and we'll have spectator parking that people can park in if they're not showing.
At Generosta, my favorite coffee is going to be their orange coffee, and I actually had the Fat Man in a little glass today, which was great as well.
Yeah, I would say probably with the cars here, you got your smooth varieties of coffees with some of these cars, and then probably the bolder flavors, because that's kind of what these cars are all about.
I think if you're going to pair a coffee with the type of cars that come out here, I think espresso is really what we're going out for here. I mean, they're all hyped up. That's what we're looking for. I think coffee mixing in with cars just generally fits the laid-back attitude of enthusiasts. They enjoy coming out, parking their car, and there's nothing that's really more laid back than just standing around and having a coffee. So I think it really interweaves well with the cars.
Up next on OT360, we take a look back at a beautiful '67 Camaro. Local filmmaker Donnie Wagner looks at the role Alan Patterson had in creating the Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix. And we'll see what street racing without the jail time is all about. That's next on Open Throttle 360.
A family-owned and operated racing enterprise specializing in restoration work, chassis setup, transmission work, hard-to-find parts, and vintage car sales. Zappa Racing is the place to go for your road racing needs. Visit zapparacing.com and find out what the Fighting Bee is all about. Zappa Racing.
The Hope Learning Center has changed my family's life and my life.
One of the big surprises of Savannah being here at Hope is one of making friends. Just getting along with other children, to be able to sit through an entire 8-hour day versus struggling through to get it through a 3-hour day of school. She's comfortable, she's happy. She's happy, I'm happy.
The Hope Learning Center. Learn today, hope for tomorrow.
When it comes to luxury and performance, Cadillac still sets the standard. Arnold Palmer Motors in Latrobe offers the best of Cadillac luxury, including the all-new 2014 ATS, a world-class compact luxury sedan that redefines the Cadillac experience. The Cadillac CTS, Motor Trend's 2014 Car of the Year, is in a class by itself for design, safety, and engineering excellence. Visit Arnold Palmer Motors in Latrobe today and test drive the best that Cadillac has to offer.
With more than 3 decades of experience and 130 suppliers under one roof, Luby's Chevy Warehouse is your one-stop restoration shop for sheet metal, brakes, emblems, chrome, and more. Need restoration parts for Chevy Impala, Bel Air, or Biscayne? We've got a catalog for that. We've got parts for Tri-5 and Chevy trucks, Chevelle, Monte Carlo, and El Camino, Chevy Nova, and Camaro. It's all at Luby's Chevy Warehouse. Call today for a free catalog or visit us at a swap meet near you.
Did you ever see a TV show or a movie with a car in it that just blew you away? Maybe the '77 Trans Am in Smokey and the Bandit, or the '57 Belvedere from Christine. Maybe the '62 Beetle from Love Bug, or the '69 Charger, Old General Lee. Well, so did this next guy.
When you see a sweet custom car, it's easy to be distracted by the shine of the chrome or the depth of the gorgeous paint job. But like a Picasso or a Rembrandt, there's a story behind these paint jobs. Sometimes it's stories of resurrecting high school memories. Sometimes the stories are even more poignant. Here's one of those stories.
I'm Rich Whelan from Cranberry, PA, and this is a 1967 Chevy Camaro, and I'm here with my daughter Ainsley. There was an 80s movie with John Cusack, Better Off Dead, and in that movie he has a Camaro undercover in his driveway that needs fixed. He gets his license and he's driving his parents' station wagon, which we had a Volare when I was growing up, so I could relate to that. You know, what high school kid wouldn't want to drive to school in a car like this? But more importantly, he fixes the car up in the movie, and it's sort of the process in doing that I really enjoy. At some point, a girl moves in next door. A French exchange student comes to visit, develops a relationship with him, and she ends up helping him repair his car. So I didn't have a French exchange student next door, but I did have Bruce Harvey. He helped me put this back together.
Rich took a road trip to Virginia for his '67 Camaro. In decent enough shape, it needed some real TLC to get it showroom ready. So his wife got him a gift card to Bruce Harvey Pro Comp Custom.
'67 Camaro is not rare by any means when you're talking about classic cars. My uncle has a '69 Hemi Roadrunner. That's a rare car. So you see a lot of Camaros at car shows. So taking it to Bruce was a way to set it off because he puts his touch on it, and you can see the detail that he put down the side of it. But yeah, there's not another 67 that looks like this. In that movie, the Camaro is an all black car, and that's sort of where I started off. I thought maybe I wanted it to stay all black, but you know, that's too simple for Bruce. He made a few suggestions and told me to look at a few colors and come back to him, and I came back with this cobalt blue. And he said, you know, I think I know what you want, and I also know you like the black. Well, we can do some shading, so you get this really pretty blue, but depending on the sun, it almost looks black at times. I had a motorcycle for a while, but I have 2 kids, and you can't take them on the motorcycle. But you know, it's a nice day. You can get in the back of this as a family and go for a ride. I took this car into Bruce. We had drum brakes all the way around, and we changed those over to disc and put a steering box in and made it just a lot more fun to take out on the road. And that's my favorite part, is you get a nice day and you go out for a drive. You had your hands up like a roller coaster on the way over here.
If you're anything like Ainsley, you'd already think this car is a blast to take a ride in. But Rich isn't done modifying what's under the hood to enhance the experience just a little bit more.
Right now it's got just a standard Chevy 350 with a Muncie 4-speed transmission in it, and that's going to come out, and we're going to make it a little bit more modern and put an LS engine in it and really make it a driver, make it fun to have on the road. I think my favorite thing about the Camaro, and this is something we changed over at Pro Comp, we put on the SSRS grille on the front, and I love the hideaway headlights. Just something about that coming down the street, the front end of this car, fantastic. In fact, if you see the car Cusack has in Better Off Dead, it's got the hideaway headlights across the front. I just love that, especially that front end shot. Listen, did I have a Lamborghini Countach on my wall as a kid growing up? Yeah. But this is a close second. Obviously, very different cars, but the insurance is surely a lot less on this car. No other connection to John Cusack other than I could probably relate to some of those 80s movies. Say Anything. Not that I ever held the radio up over my head in the rain, but you know, probably close to it at times. So.
Coming up, OT360 looks at one of the founders of the Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix. And we head to Greene County for a little flashlight drags. Don't go far. OT360 will be right back.
When it comes to luxury and performance, Buick takes a backseat to no one. Arnold Palmer Motors in Latrobe features the best of Buick, including the 2014 Buick Verano. Verano represents a new generation of mid-sized Buick luxury by blending performance-ready styling, comfort, and advanced IntelliLink technology. Visit Arnold Palmer Motors today and experience the 2014 Buick Verano for yourself.
I feel like glasses and contacts it's a crutch. It's like you would have a disability if you didn't have if I didn't have my contacts or glasses. It was like taking a wheelchair off of somebody who can't walk. They lose that, you just lose something and LASIK surgery really, it gave something back to me that it was like giving somebody who can't walk legs.
It's the shortest procedure I think I've ever had medically, and it did the most.
Looking for a one-stop shop for all of your dirt, drag, and street machine needs? Look no further than Hoosier Tire Mid-Atlantic and Precise Racing Products. Precise is the leading distributor for Hoosier Racing tires and VP Racing fuel for Pennsylvania and Maryland. We also have a wide range of parts and accessories for circle track, drag racing, and street performance. Visit PreciseRacing.com and enter coupon code OT360 to receive a free hat on your next purchase. Precise Racing Products. We sell speed.
24/7. Get the gear at PennStateClothes.com. Shirts, hoodies, gifts, jerseys, and sweats. PennStateClothes.com. You bet. The family clothes line with more in store. At Penn State Clothes, you get more. 24/7. Get the gear at PennStateClothes.com. The family clothes line.
While the OT360 production team was scouring the internet for footage and general information about the Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix, we stumbled on a short film by local filmmaker Donnie Wagner. It's a beautifully shot and beautifully told story about one of the guys who started it all.
I've made some of the best friends I've ever had throughout the world because of racing. Watkins Glen in 1952. That's the first time I was ever in a big race. That was the biggest race in the country. The course ran through downtown Watkins Glen. It was made up of snow fence and bull rope and hay bales. And it was the thrill of my life because the car would go 127 miles an hour. What we do, the vintage race cars, is like night and day between NASCAR. They're out for blood and they're out for a lot of money. Ours has no money of any kind, no prizes, and all the money goes to charity. We sort of thought that autism was in the back door. Nobody seemed to be paying any attention to it, yet we all had children. The Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix, to date we've raised almost $3.5 million. Pittsburgh is the vintage car racing capital of the United States. We have anywhere between 1,200 and 1,600 volunteers every year, and they're from every walk of life there possibly is. I would think that my family sort of got involved in this from learning to drive at about 15. Just got bitten by the speed bug. This trickled down with my children and my nieces and nephews. So in this race, we will probably have 2 of my sons and my nephew and his son. That'll give you 5 Pattersons, if you count me in too, that all will be racing in the Pittsburgh race. That's the first time that's ever happened in the world, to the best of my knowledge.
So you want to be on Open Throttle 360. Hey, who doesn't? But if your name's not Tom Lang or Trip Clark, you really just kind of have to get lucky. But there are a few things you can do to increase your chances of getting some airtime. Number 1, it doesn't hurt being a cute dog. Nothing distracts our camera crew more than a cute little Jack Russell. Is that a Jack Russell? I really only know Shih Tzus and Bulldogs, so, well, there I go. But if you're like the majority of our viewers, you're human. So your best bet is to go to one of the tracks or events that we feature on our show, like the Flashlight Drags, or Lernerville, or Motordrome, and you could be one of the faces in the crowd. It also helps, though, to have a sweet, standout ride like Dan.
My name is Dan Ross. I'm from Carmichael's. Bought this car back in '63. Bought it right here in Waynesburg. Had to pay $400 for it back then. That was a lot of money to me. Just got married and been working on it for 50-some years, and maybe someday I'll get it finished. But I put a small block Ford running gear in it. Basically, it's Mustang underneath. And it's been a lot of fun through the years. Either spend a lot of money on it or just enjoy it, and I just enjoy it.
Shooting OT360, there are a lot of cars that catch our attention, and we've seen just about everything you can imagine. So when all else fails and you're dying for the fame that comes with appearing on our show, just be like this guy.
My name is Craig Zako, and this machine over here is called John Mower. I love to make people laugh, and I love those people that they got to stop and take a second look. The mower started off as an old Sears Craftsman rider, bought it from a flea market. A friend of mine was tearing down this old barn, so of course I asked him for the old barn wood to keep that rustic look. Pretty much I had the rest of the stuff lying around.
Have you ever considered making it a functioning toilet?
More than once. It'd be an instant manure spreader.
Still to come, drivers and racers from all over the area submitted their GoPro footage. See if yours makes the show.
Heads Up Racing. Run what you brung. Street racing without the jail time. FlashlightDrags.com.
The best tires, parts, and service. Tire Town.
With more than 3 decades of experience and 130 suppliers under one roof, Luby's Chevy Warehouse is your one-stop restoration shop for sheet metal, brakes, emblems, chrome, and more. Need restoration parts for Chevy Impala, Bel Air, or Biscayne? We've got a catalog for that. We've got parts for Tri-5 and Chevy trucks, Chevelle, Monte Carlo, and El Camino, Chevy Nova, and Camaro. It's all at Luby's Chevy Warehouse. Call today for a free catalog or visit us at a swap meet near you. Heads Up Racing. Run what you brung. Street racing without the jail time. FlashlightDrags.com.
Trip, in the last few weeks, we visited Cars and Coffee, went to the Flashlight Drags, revisited Pittsburgh International Dragway, talked to a family of racers several generations deep, and more.
And if you missed any of these episodes, you can watch them on our website at OpenThrottle360.com.
Let us know what you think about OT360. Send us an email at info@OpenThrottle360.com with any comments or suggestions.
And for a complete listing of all the car cruises and events in our area, go to carcruises.com or the events page on our website.
Trip, if there's one thing I've learned in my years of racing, if money could talk, it would say, goodbye!
Goodbye! We'll see you next time.
Next week on OT360, we head to Lernerville for the annual Firecracker 100. We'll check out a classic Dodge Coronet. We talk with Jeff Lutz, driver of one of the fastest cars in America. We head to the Wexford Starlight Car Cruise with the Hasenbein brothers. And as always, we GoPro. That's all coming up on the next Open Throttle 360.